But Nancy knew a thing or two about the Weston Hill Care Centre, a privately run home for the elderly. An upper circle of carers routinely over-administered sedatives to make patients docile. Ward shifts flowed by with little incident. Nurse Truman had read the entire works of Martina Cole whilst on duty. Nancy had once witnessed a patient's son talking his father into signing a power of attorney to the family will. The patient had been docile. Once the son had departed, the patient had told Nancy she was lovely. If he had his own way, he would have signed over all his effects to her. Everybody thought Nancy was lovely. She has a lovely face. The recreation room was hardly used, and the inpatients were always watching TV. Nancy meant to go straight to the police station and make her statement. She really did. But the next thing she knew, she found herself slumped upon her bed, and the night had closed in. Shivers skittered up her spine, and her tongue hugged the roof of her mouth like the soles of a salamander to a leaf. Thirst had pushed through the membranes of her sleep. Rain had hissed through the forest of her brain, and she couldn't get enough. The drizzle flecked her tongue in measly portions. Her body didn't want to move, and she desperately needed a pee. The room flickered and pulsated as her body shuffled from her bed. The landing light flashed at her. Sheila would have gone out. Her door was closed, probably given up on waiting for her tot, in the belief Nancy had succumbed to a hangover from Bex's bash. Nancy didn't remember slaking her thirst or relieving herself, but she must have done so, for her next awakening found her simply cold, so cold she wanted to die. The thought of changing into her pyjamas spurred a racking shudder that wrung tears from her eyes. Nancy knew little about the after-effects of a car crash, but her adrenaline had probably created a false sense of well-being. Her inspection after her shower yielded nothing. No bruises, no contusions, no cuts, not even a scratch. But the limo had done something. It had done something quietly. The shivers subsided in the small hours, but her thirst lingered. Nancy vowed to check herself in at the doctor's before her mother got up the next morning. Then she would ring in sick and write her statement. Silly Nancy, you should be dead. Something detonated in her head. Nancy shot up from her pillow. The house remained silent, and nothing stirred. Never in her life had Nancy hallucinated, yet the sound was real. It seemed real. The limo had screeched along the cat's eyes. The glass had splintered at the overpass. The chasm had engulfed her. The blood-speckled dagger flashed in the dark. What has she done? At this point, Nancy blacked out into sleep.